You're listening to the Telltale Podcast. Don't forget to check me out on all social media, on Patreon, on Teespring, and on Etsy. All links can be found on my website, telltaleatheist.com, or in the podcast's description. So the next article I wanted to take a look at is by Beth Stoneburner, and it is on the Friendly Atheist blog. The title of it is Lutheran Church Reinstates Gay Pastor Who Was Kicked Out Decades Ago. So let's give the article a read and see what it has to say. In 1978, Ralph Karl Wuschke became an ordained pastor in the Evangelical Lutheran Church in Canada. Years later, after coming out as gay, he left his position, assuming there was no path forward. Even when he hoped he could lead a church again, the ELCIC told him his only option was to take a vow of celibacy. He refused to do that. By 1988, there was a formal policy blocking openly gay people who weren't celibate from leading a church. Interesting. So I guess pastors in the Lutheran Church are not expected to be celibate. That's new. Not new. That's new to me is what I mean. That's new to me. I didn't realize that I thought that pastors in the Lutheran Church had to be celibate, but I guess only if you're gay. That's kind of bullshit. Wuschke decided to leave the denomination altogether, taking up a post with the far more inclusive United Church of Canada. Good. You know what? If there's a more inclusive church that could use his services, do it. The ELCIC's anti-gay policy didn't get rescinded until 2011. That's a long time. And this week, Wuschke was officially reinstated. Think of it as a religious pardon for someone who didn't do anything wrong. Gay marriage and just generally gay acceptance for a lot of us is just kind of like an obvious thing. Like, yeah, of course people should be able to get married to who they love. Why would anybody want to stand in the way of that? That's absolutely preposterous. But back in like 2010, 2009, 2008, 2005, it was not that well accepted. In fact, President Obama and Hillary Clinton were against gay marriage for years. I don't think Hillary Clinton came out in favor of gay marriage until like 2011 or somewhere in there. And you can say, you know, that's just Hillary Clinton being Hillary Clinton, and she didn't flip on that issue until a really long time. But no, Hillary Clinton goes with the tides generally. She goes with the political tides, whatever is politically advantageous. Gay marriage generally in society was not acceptable, really, until 2011 or somewhere in there. And that's when she flipped, when social tides also flipped. So 2011 seems like an obnoxiously late date to be accepting gay pastors. And it honestly is. There should have never been an issue in the first place. But societally, that's about the right time period, roughly. That's give or take when society started accepting gay marriage for the most part. This is a quote from Wuschke. "It was really the culmination of a lifelong dream for me," Wuschke told As It Happens host Carol Off. "I was received back with great joy." That's really good news for him. I'm glad that he can play the cards that he was dealt, basically. You'd say that. Wuschke is the first pastor to be welcomed back to the church since it changed its rules to allow for LGBTQ clergy in 2011. Wow, that long? It's been since 2011. He's the only one. That's kind of concerning. But you got to start somewhere, I guess. "I see it as an important step in our commitment to full inclusion of the LGBTQ2SIA+ community." That's a long acronym. I just go with LGBTQ or LGBT, and I figure this is probably controversial. I figure it's assumed that I include all of the other letters because I don't actually know what the 2 means. Does it mean queer and questioning? Is it QQ? I'm not sure what the S is. I know A is asexual. Anyway, I should probably learn more about this, but at any rate, I just stick with LGBTQ if possible. "I see it as an important step in our commitment to full inclusion of the LGBTQ community within our church and for equal rights and justice within the whole of society," Reverend Susan C. Johnson, the ELCIC's national bishop, said in an emailed statement. It's a good sign. So she's the ELCIC's national bishop, and it looks like she's pretty progressive. That's a good sign. I'm glad to see that. The symbolic acceptance of Wushki is long overdue. Better late than never in Wushki's mind, though it could be argued that the reinstatement of priests hardly makes up for the decades of suffering the church put him through. Yeah, I definitely agree with that one. But you know what? Like I said, society moves in certain directions, and it moves entirely too slowly. And 2011 is around the time when society was moving in that direction, but it honestly should have been long before that. There shouldn't have ever been an issue to start with. Gay people, just LGBTQ people generally, not just gay, are heavily ostracized, or have historically been heavily ostracized in society. Still are, very heavily. But it's been fucking bad in the past. And it still is bad in certain grades in school, for example. So I am glad to see society moving in a certain direction.